According to the Sunday Times, West Ham majority shareholder David Sullivan and technical director Tim Steeden will meet this week to discuss his future. It's been a tough old start, eh? But before you and I discuss it, Trevor, I'm going to bring in former West Ham striker and great friend Dean Ashton. Dean, very good morning, mate. How are you this morning?
Yeah, really good, chaps. Good morning.
Morning, Dino.
Well, the first thing, Dean, I've got to say, you look like a man that wouldn't mind a glass of water now and again, unlike Brazil. You look as though you could handle the H2O. Eh?
Yeah, I don't need the lime, to be honest.
It's amazing.
I love the way you made it sound like it was a new discovery.
Brilliant. Me, you and Troy, we can drink it without the lime. We're remarkable, aren't we? We're remarkable. Dean, in all seriousness, mate, it's been a really, really disappointing start for West Ham, hasn't it?
Yeah, massively. Obviously, with the change of David Moyes, I think there was a huge amount of optimism around the club and around the fan base. I think on being able to progress on what David Moyes had left, which was a squad that had European football, European success, silverware, and a chance with spending some money to bolster the squad and really kind of push on and consolidate those in looking to get into Europe year in, year out. And all of a sudden it's flipped on its head, and it feels like it's right back to before David Moyes came in. And I just think it's such a strange appointment in terms of, I think everyone knew the type of style that Lopetegui would bring in.
Yeah.
With the back three at times and some more of a defensive approach. So to go from David Moyes to Lopetegui just felt like a big sideways move without that Premier League success that David Moyes has had over many, many years. And ultimately, I think they're very flat. The fans are flat because they're not seeing much of the new signings. They're not seeing a different style of play. It is exactly the same without actually looking like they're going to win games.
Yeah, Dino, I think a lot of us said it beforehand. I got battered actually by West Ham fans for saying that, for being quite negative on the appointment. I think to spend £100 million, which they have done, and bought in some decent players, they're not bad players that they've bought in. Surely the director of football has to come under a lot of pressure as well, because I'm just looking at some stats here, mate. Last year, possession-wise, was 40.7%. This year, it's 45.6%. To spend £100 million and the presentation in which it was done, that there's going to be this whole new revamp, new style, attacking play, and then just to get that for £100 million is quite disappointing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're still only talking about months in the job, but ultimately you'd want to see something. You'd want to see a significant change in the approach, and with very much the same players like Antonio, who's been absolutely incredible. But you know the type of game that you're going to play. You're going to play on the counter-attack with him in your team. Now, they've been unlucky with Fulkrug being injured, but the approach right from the start of the season from Lopetegui has been a more defensive approach, and most of that added % of possession is actually just around the back. It's not actually progressing through the pitch. That is just the centre backs getting on it with an extra player at the back. So he's going to come under pressure, maybe not straight away from the ownership, because I don't think they're that type of ownership, and I think it is a safe appointment. I think it's a safe appointment and a cheap appointment, but the fans, that is where you get the pressure from. They just won't have it, and you'll be under pressure after 20 minutes of every home game.
It's a funny one, Dino, as well, because you look at them and you're quite right to say, kind of defensively minded, but I excuse me, I actually think in forward areas they've got some terrific talent. I know Kudus didn't play at the weekend, but some of us come in. You've got Paquetá, Bowen, you mentioned Antonio. In forward areas, I think they've got some serious quality. I just think in the middle of the park, I don't know, guys, did they look a little bit one-paced?
Yeah, there's not enough legs in there, is there?
I mean, there's just a massive gap as well. They're so disconnected, really, from the back line and the forward line, and there's big holes, and these top teams will expose it. I watched the Chelsea game at home. It was scary to watch how open they were in the middle of the pitch, and it's something that hasn't really been addressed. It was the same against Nottingham Forest as well. You got players getting sent off with ill discipline. and you sort of start to think, is that because they're unsure and they're out of position and it's not working in terms of them reading the game? And that's the one position that actually they have tried to recruit in that position. But in this day and age, you need players that can properly get around the pitch in that area, and people are just running past the likes of Alvarez and Rodriguez.
Yeah, Dino, just one thing for me. You said earlier, he's only months into the job, and I agree with that. It does take time. I think the only frustration for me is not seeing instantly what they are, who they are, what they're trying to do. I think Man United got caught up in this over the last 2.5 years. Spend a lot of money, keep backing the manager, but not see. You should be able to see what the style of play is within 10, 15 minutes of watching a game, right?
Well, I think Ange Postecoglou was the perfect example of that. The minute he stepped into Tottenham within the first game, you were like, wow, this is a big change. You can see with the fullbacks what he's trying to achieve. And they're now controlling a lot of the games. Okay, they're not getting the results, but they're controlling so many of the games they play in because of the way that he's brought players in and the style that he's implemented. And I looked at West Ham before David Moyes left, and I thought this is one of the fittest teams in that. Like, they will run, and I just think they were capable of playing a style where they were much higher up the pitch, and the forward players, I think, were players that would work and graft and press if you wanted them to. And I just think they've really missed an opportunity here to get a manager in that could change things.
Brilliant, Dino. Listen, mate, enjoy the international games coming up at the weekend, and remember, if it gets too much for you, mate, just get some lime in that water. Don't worry about it. Just come here. If you can't handle it, you know what I mean?
Class. Enjoy, fellas.
Brilliant, mate. Take care. Now, coming up, we turn our attention to the lack of English coaches in the Premier League, and ask a question. Why are the golden generation not living up to their name in the dugout at the moment? That's coming up next, guys.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.